All right, I think that's better. Testing. I think my audio's good now. That is always my trouble every week is this audio. Anyway, we're here. We're live. This is Coffee with the Cowbell. Good morning. I'm your host, Ricardo Wilkins, aka the Microsoft Teams Geek, with my coffee Saturday morning to geek out about Teams with you. And today, I wanted to geek out about Teams and emojis, as the title of this one implies. So let me make sure I got a couple things going okay here. So you may be asking, how could one possibly talk about emojis in Teams? Well, I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm going to do so. Let me go over to my demo tenant. All right. And let me make some adjustments because you can't see all of that. That looks good. And then that looks good. All right. Adjustments have been made. All right. And then one more thing here. Sorry about that. All right. I think we're good now. Fact. Let's can't do that. All right. So emojis and Teams. What are we talking about here? So last week I kind of started to show the 3D emojis that are in Teams. If you can see that there. So I'm talking about these guys for reactions in this case to your post. If I go into an actual post and use the emojis button there, right? I'll see all of them. Okay. So, we've had emojis and reactions and whatnot in Teams, but they're now 3D. So that's cool. Just adds a little more to them. It goes across all the different categories. But I wanted to talk about it in a couple ways. And the first one I did want to talk about is starting at the reactions for a post, because especially the face ones, one might argue, is this just a fun way of reacting to a post? And I guess I would argue to some degree the faces maybe, but hopefully you see the value of using these as a way of actually getting and seeing good feedback related to posts. So, a like is not just a like, seeing multiple thumbs up on a post gives you some idea about, how useful that post is among your team. It's also a easy way to ask a question or a survey, like an informal survey in your chat. If I, was to ask a question here, just by show of likes, I can count up, how many people are interested in that thing, right? And a heart, kind of the same way, but that does give me a little indication of passion's a strong word, but some level of extra emotion to that post, right? So these can be used to really get some sentiment from from your team, figure out what the general sentiment is of the team. It's not just a like we might do in other social media platforms. So I try to use these well. And the other thing that this like button is good for is to keep you from typing and to keep someone from having to read your typing, because so many of our things are kind of a yes no answer, right? And one of the classic ones is when I, for instance, go to Nestor here and I say, Nestor, can we talk? And he could say yep or whatever, but just putting a thumbs up on that for him, not me in this case, but him putting a thumbs up is yes, he can talk, and then I can go ahead and hit the and call him, right here from Teams. So again, I've saved him some keystrokes. I've saved from having to wait for him to type those keystrokes. Quick thumbs up. And so, anytime someone asks you a simple yes no question, I guess if the answer is yes, then that like button is an easy way to respond to that. So that happens to me all the time when people ask for a conversation. I respond with that. Doesn't always work. Sometimes I feel like people don't get it, that my thumbs up means yes. Anyway, we'll move on from there. So that's one aspect of that that I just wanted you to keep in mind. So that's emojis by way of reactions to posts. Okay. The other emotions, I don't know that I use them much. Sometimes surprised when someone puts a post that's, with the information that's surprising. I don't think I've ever used I've used angry emojis when someone has, as it implies, says something that you just want to show your teammates, you're not happy with that information, not personally to them, but just the information itself. So, yeah, I think I've used everything. And of course, laughter. Laughter is probably by far the most fun social one of it. I don't know that I've used laughter in a business, to get work done the way I'm going to try to show with these other ones. So that's a quick run through of the emojis related to reactions. And then you also have emojis related to meetings, reactions. If I were to show that quickly by jumping into a meeting, and I think you all are Teams geeks out there, you probably already know all of this, but just to, I forgot I'm not in this meeting. Just to make sure we're all on the same page here. Let's get a new meet now. Start it up. And so we're talking about the emojis in here, right? The reactions. You see those are 3D now as well. So that's good stuff. So we got those there as well. Now, what both those reactions as well as the post reactions don't have yet is something that the full list of reactions does, which is, come on, if I'm looking for my thumbs up here, you see the dots. I want to do a thumbs up. Oops, sorry. I right clicked on it and I get skin tones. So I want my thumbs up to more reflect, my skin tone. And so I would choose, for instance, something like that. So I think this came before the 3D. I believe I was there before the 3D emojis just launched or are launching. You may not see 3D emojis yet. I think it's rolling out as we speak. But skin tones are part of those as well. I think same for the people icons, right? You see the little dots. And so if I, put this guy here, right click, I've got my different skin tones. Okay. I don't know if skin tones are coming to reactions in the meetings or the posts. I have heard people talking about it, but I don't know. I don't know if that's coming or not. But it is in the, let's call this the full list of the emojis, so you can see there. All right. So that's good stuff. All right. So that just gets us on the same page in terms of what are emojis? What are we talking about? We're talking reactions, but we're also talking, this full list as well. And so when I make the claim that Emojis don't have to just be about, fun. Not that, getting work done, being productive isn't fun, but, we can use them to be productive. How is that? So, first off, one of the ones people sometimes use emojis for is in their channel names. If you've used Teams enough, one of the things you know is that these are ordered alphabetically. General being always being the first one by default, and then alphabetical. And there is no ordering of a channel per se. So if I did want research and development to be first, I can't, like drag it up there or anything. So what people tend to do, since it's alphabetical, is sometimes I'll start putting 1, 2, 3, 4 at the beginning. Like for instance, let's just try it. Let's just show it in action. Put a 1 there. Saving my changes. And now we got that, as the first one in the list. And that's cool. But we can use emojis as well. Emojis have a sort order as well, and often come prior to alphabetical order. So not only do they have an impact for sorting, but they would also then impact the what we say the can impact the visual aspect of that channel. So if we take a look here, for instance, if I edit this channel, and let's see, I would put, so first off, how would I get there from here? On a Windows PC, that would be the start key plus, or the Windows logo key plus the period key will bring up my emojis. If you're on a Mac, I don't know why you're on a Mac. If you are, I don't know. I suspect it's that command thing and period. I don't know. I'm not a Mac user, as many of you are very well aware. But it's a Windows logo key and period to bring this up, and then I could bring up something like, in my case, I like to go use some of these colored squares. Let's go with, let's say, white. No, let's go with green, or both of them, for instance, and hit save. So by the fact that it stayed up top, that tells me that white square is higher in the alphabetical listing than the D. But not only that, it has given me some visual, a nice visual, colored visual to my channel names. So let's go ahead and unhide a couple more of these. So for instance, let's say, so I can now give a visual clue as to what that channel is about, as opposed to just the wording. So for instance, let's say this private channel, for instance, although it already has a little padlock there, imagine going here, Windows period, searching for lock, putting that there, space. Now I got a nice big colored lock there to show that that's a private channel. It's just one example. Go to market plan. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. Edit this channel. Windows period. So what is it? If I type go, what do I get? I don't like any of those. What about arrow? So I don't know. I might do something like that. Right. So you start to see some visual indicators on there. The the hard part sometimes is figuring out what, and there may be, I think there is a web page somewhere that shows the order of them, because once it's visual now, how do I know, if I want go to market to be above research, how do I know? Clearly, a white square is a higher order than the arrow, things like that. And then the other one I like to just use is red, yellow, green, like a status indicator. So that's one of my favorites, is to go down to, let's make this, let's say red. Either square or circle is what I like. And to me, it's almost as if this was actually designed to be, some kind of KPI there. I've had some work with some agencies where this channel was like an emergency channel for something, and so putting a red indicator there really called that out, in terms of being an important channel. But again, as you keep going down through this, you can start to see this visual piece, and of course, then when you want to group, you not only want to sort, but you want to group. Then the obvious choice there is to start making the channels have the same emoji. So now I can have different words, but the same emoji, and thus they become grouped together. So I think I said red there. Right. So now again, so clearly red is, lower in the sort order than the padlock, but now these are together. And then, once they're grouped, then it's going in, why is it not alphabetical there after the red? I must either have too many spaces or something like that. But hopefully you start to see what this is all about. And so let me change this one here. Edit this channel just for some consistency. Green. There we go. We can't do anything to the general channel, but the others we can. Okay. So again, if you had a bunch of channels, I feel like if you had a bunch of channels and they, all had like a red, yellow, green or something, this would really be a useful bit of information about those channels. And so creativity is really your only barrier here, right? Because you've got a ton of emojis to choose from. I do a lot of work with different customers. So one of my go-tos, again, you can do whatever, works for you, but one of my go-tos is, the building, icons. I tend to like to use, this one here for customer related channels, this being like an office building. Another one I like for personal stuff is, I think it's the family. So I will tend to put this icon on for, personal either channels or in my profiles in Edge. If I have personal profiles there or anywhere, I will, use one of these family icons. Again, not that the channel is related to family, it's just an icon that I can relate to being a personal one. Okay. So, emojis like that. Now, what you'll notice here, as I've changed the title of the channel, it has changed it up here as well. So whatever visual that is I'm getting in the channels, I'm going to get here. And I'm also going to get that visual when I mention the channel. So at mention this channel, it's going to have that in there, and then I'm going to say what I want to say too. You might think that's a challenge. Do I have to at mention and then go find the emoji? No. Hopefully you maybe not have saw it. So I at, and then I'm just going to type design. It's finding what, the word I'm typing anywhere in the channel name. So it's smart enough to ignore the preceding emoji and still find that. So I don't have to start memorizing the emojis of the channels. I can still just at design, at go to market, all that good stuff. But it is going to put the emoji in there. Another thing you might be wondering, knowing that the channel names are related to the folder names, let's take a look at what may be going on there. So open in SharePoint, you will see that the channel names did not get the emojis on them. That's because we edited the channel after it already existed. Let's go back. Let's go back here and make a brand new channel that has an emoji from the beginning. Sure, let's do that. Car specs, right? Okay. So we added one called car specs with a little car icon. It's up there, of course. We go to files. And now it's there because we did it on the front end. So those folder names don't change every time you change the channel name. So then if I go to open in SharePoint, it's still there, right? So one could argue you could start to add some visual information to folder structure and whatnot as well with emojis. And really the key to this is, it was a while ago where these Unicode characters got more like first-class citizenship, and so across the Microsoft ecosystem, we're respecting those emojis now as characters. And where that also becomes interesting, and maybe this will be the last little point I'll make here, is this may not work in a short time, but let's go to a team. Let's go to a chat. And let's say here, I'm going to put idea, the light bulb. And then I'm going to say we should sell more cars. Okay. So what I could be doing here is trying to start a culture of, hey, whenever you've got an idea that you post in our team, put the light bulb emoji there so that one, visually, I know this isn't just normal post. This is a specific idea you have. But also the fact that what if I want to find all the ideas that have been posted? This may not work because of, oh, there we go. I thought the search engine might not be fast enough. But now if you use your imagination and there works multiple posts out there across all my teams and channels, if people would follow the method of putting that, in this case, the idea emoji, the light bulb emoji, I can, with one little search here, find all of them. I'd have a list of all the ideas people have been posting throughout the teams. Could do the same thing for, maybe a checkbox emoji next to anything that's kind of a task. Again, just use your imagination. If we as a team can, commit to the same emoji, then we can now be part of our search results. So again, another use. And so again, all of these things are why I like to say that emojis have a use and value in terms of getting things done, not just to express ourselves. So hopefully I have convinced you of that. All right. So with that, that is my little spiel for emojis. Again, knowing that the Emojis here. Some are 3D, some are not. Some are have skin tone options, some do not. So we're still got a ways to go for kind of using this across the board. I had a little more time, I'd show the same thing in Outlook. I mean, just use your imagination in terms of your folders that you create in Outlook, or even if you use categories and labels for your emails, putting an emoji on those can add some more visual cues. It's one thing to go down my list and see, important as a category label on my email, but to see it with what I like to do is like multiple finger points on that or things like that. Now you can really spot that label a little easier. So something to consider. All right. So hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully you got something out of that. And once again, this has been Coffee with the Cowbell. And hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a great rest of your weekend.